Well, hello. Welcome back to my studio. Today, I'm going to paint a tree. I'm going to put the tree photo reference here. I took this while I was on a little hike on a vacation, and it just captured me. I liked, there's a little close-up. I loved all the divisions of those dark branches at the top. So I'm going to bring you along on this sped up video. You guys told me that you really don't care for the background music. When I find some good stuff, I'm going to put some in. But most of you preferred for me to speak over and to tell you what I'm doing. So here I go. This video is about 13 minutes long, and you're going to hear me rambling. You're going to hear me tell you a few stories and tell you basically about what I'm doing. So let's begin. This is a drawing and painting of this tree trunk that I absolutely fell in love with as I walked by. I love that in the photo, you'll have to go back and look at it, it had a blue tinge to me. So that is kind of the way I'm going with the branches. It had very deep creviced bark, and so I'm trying to capture it without being literal. I'm trying to do broad general shapes and just capture it that way. The branches I absolutely love. I love the contrast of the branches between the tree, the lightness of the tree, and then the darkness of the branches. Now, what I want you to see is that I'm not painting branches and basically coming straight out of the tree or anything like that. I'm very conscious of the negative space between the branches. What I don't want is for all of the spaces to be equal in size. So basically, I'm dividing up the canvas. Think of it a little bit. I'm just thinking of an example now. Think of it as stained glass, where all of those dark branches are divisions in the glass, creating their own shapes that are beautiful and aesthetic and divide up the space. So I love painting trees. I remember the first time I painted a large tree here in Canada. Actually, it wasn't even very large. I think it might have been even this size or slightly smaller. And I went to a show in Kingston, Ontario. My kids were going to university there. And I thought, well, you know what? I want to go up and visit. I know they don't want to hang around with me for 3 or 4 days, but I would like to spend time with them. So I thought, I'm going to apply to a local show, and I'm going to see if I can take advantage of them being up there. I would stay with them in their house and do the little show. So here what you're seeing now is I'm starting to color block. I've decided that the background is going to be mostly red on this painting because I often am told how dramatic the red looks once I start painting in. So I thought, here we go. I'm going to, it's not almost fall. I refuse to say that it's almost fall, but fall is coming. And so here we go. I'm going to paint a little bit of an autumnal painting. Here I am probably refilling my palette, getting some colors out of my drawers. So to finish the story, I had a small painting of a tree, and back then when I went to show, I pretty much brought everything. I did not have a set style. I did not have a game plan. I pretty much just, threw everything in the booth and hoped somebody liked something. A lot of people thought it was a group show. I made all the mistakes. But somebody came along, and she's still a friend to this day, and she loved one of my trees. So she asked me if I could paint it, I think in a 3x5 foot format. And I was just so excited. That was one of my first commissions, guys. This wonderful 3x5 painting of a tree, and it began everything. I love praise, right? Tell me nice things about myself, and it'll just want me to make those things happen over and over again. So the fact that she loved the tree got me really excited. But then when I showed the tree, other people started liking the trees as well. So trees, forests, islands, water, they became my muse, and I was able to use them with color, shape, form, light to paint and develop the style that you see now that is very unique to me, that I think when people see my work, they say, hey, that's a Julia Veenstra. So years ago, I was purely figurative. I would paint my children. I would paint other people's children. I was one of those artists that you'd see at a fairgrounds or a festival that did caricatures and chalk or pastel portraiture. And when I lived, I don't know if you knew this, I lived in Africa for 5 years. I had a wonderful time there painting people, and maybe I'll pop one in right now. This is a watercolor that I did while I lived in Tanzania called Maasai Warrior, and this is a piece that I called Adorned. So I did a lot of watercolor back then, but you can see that I used a lot of bright colors even then. So I didn't really paint landscapes way back then. It was mostly figurative. So here, oh, look, I've changed my clothes. You've got me on a different day. And now I'm going to be doing kind of those second layers. So what I had gotten to at this point was the color blocking stage. But I did want to tell you about my first tree that I ever painted, that I can remember ever painting, besides that little blue tree that I was told that there were no blue trees in grade 3. I don't have a picture of that tree, but I was told there were no blue trees, but here I am still painting blue trees. But this is a painting of an acacia tree. It really captivated me, and it was my first ever tree. But I think you can see the beginnings of my style even way back then. So that was an acrylic painting versus watercolor. So what I'm doing here is after the color blocking stage, which was fully getting that canvas covered, here I'm coming in and I'm identifying shapes and I'm crisping up and I'm creating outlines and highlights. And while I said that it was going to be an autumnal red background, there is a lot of color in there, as you can probably see. I get teased a lot by one particular daughter who says, a tree, another tree? Mom, when are you going to paint something original? So I love the shapes. I love the leaf interpretations. And what I'm finding as I'm doing a bit of a journey into even some abstracts, I'm finding that when I'm creating shapes on the abstracts, I find I'm echoing these kind of leaf-shaped marks, over there. So here I am, I'm still rambling. Are you still with me? Tell me if you're still with me. Tell me if you like where I'm going. Ask me any questions that you'd like to know, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and things like that. So this is a sped up video, and this took me a couple of days to work on. But honestly, a session could be 4 hours, it could be 2 hours, it could be 5 hours. And the last session often is my shortest session because I've got a lot of decisions made when I create and get the color blocking in. This is the stage that it's simply just, I'm fixing and I'm looking, and there you go. There you see me. I lowered it because I needed to work on the top. That's that wonderful cleat system that I'm always talking about. I'm not enjoying how the camera is capturing me in this video, but I hope that you guys, you're kind of ignoring all that and just looking at what I'm doing. So while we get to the end of the video, I'll let you know what is the next stages for this painting. So this painting I will finish, then I will varnish it. And at this point I use Liquitex High Gloss Varnish. And oh, it is the most amazing, miraculous thing that happens when I varnish. All of these colors intensify, all my strokes, show up, and it just makes the painting look juicy and absolutely wonderful. Then what I will do is I will take it to my gallery and to my printer, and he will do a very high resolution photograph of it, which allows me to make reproductions of this print. So then what happens is that file gets sent to my web guy, and he will create a product with all the variations and put it on my website. Once it's on my website, it's available in print, and people can order it on watercolor paper, on canvas stretched, or even framed. So here the painting is looking straight at it. I thought I would change up the view that you had. And I'm examining at this point. I'm looking at it, seeing if there's anything that I don't like, seeing if there's anything that I need to finish at this point. And who knows? I actually don't even know what I'm going to be doing here as I'm speaking over this. So I must have been thinking that I needed some definition at the top, and I see that this isn't even sped up. So here I am finishing this painting, and I see that I'm glancing at my television. So I think I must have a YouTube on that I'm listening to, probably about gardening. And what do you think? Do you think it needs anything? Is there anything glaring at you? I'll bring you in a little closer so that you can see all of the strokes and all of the marks that created this painting. So like I said, I use lots and lots of color, and in each stroke, there's a whole variety, and you see all the striations of the paint that I pick up. So if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Ask me some questions. Let's get a dialogue going. That helps the channel. And I hope you have a marvelous day. I hope you do something creative, do something artsy. Have a wonderful day.